Friends, good evening all. Thanks for joining here for today's meeting. Uh, Time is 6:32. So in another 2 or 3 minutes, we'll be starting the forum. Uh, Till then, please wait. We'll be starting sharply at 6:35 p.m. Thank you. సరే Friends,
Sir,
thank you
good
so
evening, sir.
much. Yeah, good evening,
Good evening,
Doctor.
sir.
Yeah,
Sir,
friends, thank you so much. Now, our Honorary Secretary, Dr. Raja, will start the program. Dr. Raja, its floor is over to you.
very good evening, one and all present here. We welcome you all for this wonderful webinar on brand marketing versus performance marketing. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity for this wonderful session. Over to Mr. Ram Kumar Singaram, sir, to introduce about PRSI Chennai chapter.
We warmly welcome our today's guest, wonderful speaker, yeah, very good friend of our chapter as well as yeah, well-known personality in Chennai, Pavitra Madam Pavitra Charan Shankaranara Shankara Krishnan. So she is the founder and managing partner of Inception Business Services. So welcome, madam. Thanks a lot for your presence. There will be a separate introduction session about madam. So before that, I am seeing a lot of new faces today as well as our old faces today. A lot of people from across India I can see, and people are continuously joining. So to give a small intro about PRSI, what exactly we do, why we are conducting this conference regularly. So a small brief about our chapter PRSI. PRSI is nothing but Public Relations Society of India. It was started in 1959 and in Kolkata. Later, the Chennai chapter started in 1969. It's one among the oldest, well-known chapter in India. And to cut the long story short, now for PRSI, it's a pioneer body in communication industry. It has got 23 chapters across India, and Chennai is one among the leading chapters in PRSA domain. In Chennai, there are around 130 members, and we have got corporate members, we have got individual members, we have got people from multiple walks of life. Right now, a lot of professors in Viscom department are member here, a lot of corporates are member here, like a lot of individual consultants, PR consultants, or advertising, or marketing, or digital marketing, media. So all people are members here. So it's very active association. Every month we have an offline session where we meet in person and we invite a guest and we taste the knowledge. So it happens in Hotel Savera in Chennai. Every month, once in a month, this meeting will held, and there are two webinars, live webinars, free live webinars we host every month, where we invite like Pavitra Madam, like a lot of other industry giants who has got a practical knowledge, who currently works in the market, who currently introducing novel ideas and executing the client's requirement. So we invite those people and we make them to speak before our audience. And I can see a lot of, as usual, I can see a lot of research scholars, PhD research scholars, professors, assistant professors, doctorates. Nice to see multiple people from multiple domain. There are, I can see a lot of people from North India also. It's nice. Every and regular faces are also there. Nice to see all these people. So thank you very much for continuously supporting us. Though it is a free live webinar, without your support, audience, without your support, we cannot run the show. The encouragement what you give makes us to push to go further. So thank you so much, friends, and again a warm welcome for you all, and particularly as our guest. So to tell about our core team, Dr. Raja, who gave a welcome address, is working as an assistant professor in a leading university in Tamil Nadu in Chennai. He is a secretary of this chapter, and I am Ram Kumar Singaram. I am chairing this chapter in Chennai. I run a company called Catalyst PR. And now I am giving the floor to Dr. Sridevi, who is also assistant professor in Viscom department in Wales University. So she will be giving, she is the treasurer of the association. So madam will be giving an intro about Pavitra madam.
Hello. Hello.
Over to Dr. Sridevi.
Thank you, sir. Is it audible?
Yeah, very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Pavitra Charan Shankara Krishnan, founder and managing partner of Inception Business Services. Ms. Pavitra is a strategic marketing advisor with nearly 2 decades of experience helping organizations strengthen their positioning, build trust brands, and drive business growth. She has worked with startups, consumer brands, founder-led businesses, professional services firms, B2B organizations, bringing together marketing strategy, growth marketing, digital marketing, and thought leadership. Known for her practical business first approach to marketing, she helps leaders and business navigate the intersection of brand reputation and growth in the increasingly AI driven world. She shares notes from everyday practice of marketing at Market Sana via platforms like LinkedIn and Instagram. Outside of work, she is an avid reader, a lifelong learner, an ardent music lover, and someone deeply interested in stories, ideas, and people in that shape organizations. We are delighted to have her with us today to share her perspectives on brand marketing versus performance marketing. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Pavitra Charan Shankaragrishan. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sridevi. Thank you so much. Firstly, I'm very honored to have been invited to address this group. Thank you very much to Ramkumar Singaram sir, someone who's a veteran in the South when it comes to his work. And we've been collaborating on projects. So thank you for extending this invitation to me. Thank you, Mr. Raja and Dr. Sridevi, for initiating the proceedings. I'm very, very excited to talk to all of you about a topic that is really close to my heart. And I'd like to keep this as interactive as possible and keep some time for stories and exchanges as well. And also some quiz to make sure all of you with your video tiles off are not sleeping on the webinar. Okay. So first up, I have a story to start with. I'm going to just share screen. I have a presentation to guide us through the next 45 minutes. And hopefully we can also take some questions. I would request one of the PRSI chapter members to assist if there are any chat messages that I miss because I'm sharing screen. Please do keep tabs of them so we can address them as we go along. How many of you you can just raise your hand if it is a yes, have been associated with deciding or proposing budgets for brand spends? You could just do a show of hands so I know the room. One second, I'm just trying to share screen and make sure I get the right window. Apologies, I got kicked out while trying to share screen. Sharing is apparently not turned on. Could I be given sharing rights?
Yeah, you are a co-host, madam.
It's saying host isn't allowing multiple presenter. It was there earlier. It's not there now.
Oh God.
Hmm.
Ebenezer, can you help?
Can you reassign me since I joined now? Can you make me host again? Maybe I've lost the rights.
Ebenezer, can you wait, doctor? Wait a minute. My video is a co-host. Okay. Okay.
Sorry, it was there earlier. It's because I got.
Yeah. I can understand. Make co-host. Okay, madam. Give me 2 minutes time. You just continue. I'll make.
I'm going to start with a story that many of you may be familiar with a brand. Many of you may have drunk a brand called Horlicks. I'm not sure how many of you are raising your hands or responding, but I'll take it that if you've lived in India for the last 40, 50 years, it's a brand that you couldn't have ignored. Let me tell you the story of what happened to Horlicks. They were dominating the Indian health drink category for decades. Genuinely loved, very much embedded into the culture and conversation in the household. You know, when you're sick, take Horlicks. Women take Horlicks. For better nutrition, take Horlicks. It's a drink people used to give their children. Then what happened is post the GSK acquisition by Unilever, some kind of performance marketing mindset came in, and in 2020, they shifted spends completely heavily towards promotional pricing and performance marketing. And why? Because they thought that is the better strategy to defend against competitors like Complan and others who were like Bonvita that were going very heavy. So the brand investment there was the emotional storytelling, the taller, stronger, sharper story that we've all grown up listening to about Horlicks. Do you know?
Madam, sorry. Now you are a host.
Got
You
it.
can share the screen. Yeah. Sorry. Please proceed.
Sure. Can you believe 100-year-old brand like Horlicks, within 18 to 24 months of this shift, they started seeing the cost of acquisition going up, the cost of the acquisition of customers, retaining them was going up because parents under the age of 35 were not choosing the brand. And because the brand investment had dropped, suddenly they had to earn back loyalty from within the families as the customers aged out and new customers became their target audience. Now tell me, if this can happen to a brand with equity of almost 100 years within 2 years of neglecting brand investments, there is a moral of the story for much younger brands and businesses trying to build up their marketing today. So that's the story I'm going to start with. Today, my talk, the slide, I will be changing the slide as we go along because my fundamental premise is that the question to ask is not, should we be investing in brand marketing versus performance marketing, but something else altogether. And today, when you leave, I'd like you to be firm believers in the multiplier effect. So let's get started. So if you had 10 lakhs to invest today on marketing, what would your instinct be? There is no right or wrong answer, but here are some options. You decide which are you. Are you in A, all performance, you want conversion now? Are you B?
லேட் பண்றதுதான் தப்பு. நீ பிரகாசனுக்கும் பழனியனுக்கும் முதல்ல கூப்பிடு சொன்னியா?
Excuse me, can you mute yourself? We already mute. Okay, madam, please proceed. I'll.
No worries. Are you in the B category, mostly performance, little bit brand investment? Are you in the C category, 50-50, balancing feels right? Or D, mostly brand, you're looking at long-term brand growth. The truth is today, most marketers are defaulting to performance spends. And today's webinar, my job is to show you why that instinct, while it's understandable, why that instinct has come to be internalized and why that's leaving significant revenue on the table. That's going to be my job tonight. So the real question I would say is not why the brand versus performance debate needs to be reframed. So this is a false debate in my opinion. And in the last 15 years, I can tell you the number of times I've had to advise brands that yes, we are capable of spending your performance spends, we will deliver results, but what are you doing about brand? Or vice versa. You're investing in the brand, great, that's amazing. Now we need to test the waters and throw in some performance budgeting. Now, what is this whole brand side of the table and performance side of the table? A quick glance. Brand marketing is any kind of investment, and brand marketing could take many forms. It doesn't have to be TV advertising or print ads. It could be showing up in presence for a specific product category or industry. Brand marketing comes through many ways. Maybe PR, very right audience I'm talking to. storytelling, which is done very well through PR, emotions, where you're investing in affinity building with your target audience, long-term equity with your target audience. Sometimes the problem is it becomes hard to measure. And this has been the bane of brand investments from time. Performance marketing, very new age, very much driven by the digital world that we all inhabit today, a world where measurement is easy, metrics are visible, clicks, conversions, enough number of ratios from return on ad spends to cost per customer acquisition to click-through ratio, lot of ratios, lot of numbers, lot of data. It's possible to target with precision by choosing your channels, your platforms, your audience, enough number of ad inventory options that are digital. And of course, let's not forget, even offline, there has been performance marketing, promotional oriented spends, retail channel oriented spends, sales oriented spends that are directly linked to conversion would also come under performance marketing. Retargeting loops. It's great because it's short-term measurable, gives you results. You can see the results, but it can also plateau fast. In every budget meeting these days, every strategy deck, every agency pitch, there is this toss-up between brand spends and performance spends. So that is the myth we are going to bust today. The reframe that I would like you to look at today is not brand versus performance. The way we need to look at it, and I have enough data, enough stories to back this up today, it is brand into performance. It is a multiplier. So it is not this versus that. It is this into that. And we have proven cases, very reputed research studies that show that brand equity is the multiplier of your performance return, which means if you're spending on performance without brand, it's like an equation. The results you get is X. If you're spending on performance spends and you have the right allocation to brand spends, you will get 3X, 4X, 5X, depending on your industry, stage of brand. You will get a multiplier of the return that you saw for purely performance spend. This is the fundamental premise that I am here to speak to you about today. So before we dive in further, I want to talk to you about now, why is this brand versus performance debate? How has it come about? Because if we have to change our minds, I need to break this down into 3 fundamental traps that we as marketers, as brand owners, as people in the profession, as business owners have been falling to. First is the Maya of metrics. That's what I call it. That is, we overvalue what can be measured. From the time digital started, couple of decades ago, from, oh, you can get Google ranking, you get this much traffic to your website, you get this much blog traffic, oh, you're getting these many, then e-commerce started, this much traffic to your product pages, add to carts are so many, conversion rate is so much, then Facebook, Instagram, from social media to your product, this much traffic is there, this is the conversion. So suddenly there is this Maya of so many metrics are there. So this is what is working. And the human mind tends to overvalue what can be measured and undervalue. You remember the one thing I told you about brand marketing? Its biggest bane has been that it's not always immediately measurable. Now that has put it in a backbench in this Maya of metrics. This is something we absolutely have to change, because measurability does not equal importance. There may be metrics that are important, but because you're not measuring them, or factors are not measurable, so we are ignoring them at the altar of performance. So this is a mindset that we have to shift. The second story, short-termism. Now, there are many isms surrounding us. This is one more ism. What is it? This is the mindset of this month, this quarter. The speed of what I need to achieve is drowning out the strength of what I'm trying to build. What happens? We are all human. The business owner, the investor, the marketer who's being judged with their KRA, the sales team, everyone is singing the same tune, and we start optimizing for what delivers immediate feedback. Refer Maya of metrics, the thing that gives numbers, the thing that gives results. We tend to take comfort in that, saying, let me survive this quarter, let me show results next quarter. and we miss what is the foundation on which the performance can actually multiply, which is the brand. So the final, the story I would tell you is a very nice, interesting one. All of you may already be aware, a newer business that has come to life in recent years, Airbnb. If you take Airbnb's example, during COVID, they cut their entire performance marketing budget and shifted to brand and PR. So when travel resumed after the COVID pandemic, their direct traffic and organic search were higher than pre-COVID because they had continued to invest. Now, they had spent recession time or the downturn in travel investing in brand memory, keeping Airbnb top of mind, top of mind, top of mind. So when the demand returned, they didn't need to buy back their customers. Imagine the brands, typical conversations in that time. Many of you may have had travel customers. No, just cut budgets, cut the brand, keep basic hygiene performance budget running to capture whatever demand is left. So when the recovery happened, they are the ones who lost out, whereas someone who had continued to invest in brand and then turned the tap back on performance marketing got superior multiplier effect on their results. So that also tells us that when the going gets tough, we think we are cutting budget, optimizing, but we may be harming the full maximization potential of our spends. So that's another thing that we have to avoid by avoiding this short-termism trap. The third thing, and I'm going to spend more time on this in the next segment, is what I call the funnel fallacy. How we've all studied marketing, how we present campaigns, how we present, these days, even agencies, PR firms, everyone knows to go from top of funnel to bottom of funnel, one neat diagram, inverted funnel. So you do everything at the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, by bottom of the funnel. We assume for our convenience that buyers are behaving in that funnel kind of behavior. And so our attribution is easier. So we design campaigns around it. We design content around it. We plan budgets around it. But the funnel is a fallacy. Okay. Even now I am forced to make presentation slides where I show the funnel, but it is a concept. The buyers are not going as per that. The model that we are showing is not the buyer's journey. They follow loop pattern, and that is what we call the messy middle in marketing. It's a very important point I want to cover today because it is the fundamental reason why we cannot afford to look at only brand or only performance. We need to do both because customers are not following a neat funnel, but they are looping. And I will explain this further. I'm going to take a quick pause here because these are the foundational aspects of what I wanted to say. And I'd like to see if anyone has any questions or anything else that you would like to. Any questions, anything I missed in chat?
No, madam, you can continue.
Okay. I'm going to reshare again. So I'm going to talk to you about the messy middle. A while ago, I talked to you about this funnel fallacy. Google has done extensive research, and of course, their line of work demands that they show this. They have tied up with very good research teams to do this. And it's a concept that's been around for the last 7-8 years, and it keeps coming back, which is the model we were taught: awareness, consideration, purchase. Top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. Yes, it is a construct, but it is neat, linear, easy to understand, fundamentally not how buyers are buying. What happens is on one side you have trigger. On the other side, you have purchase. Between this trigger, which is awareness that I have a need, I need to solve this problem, to actually making a purchase and exiting that loop is the messy middle. People are constantly exploring options and evaluating, making some criteria, which could be nonsensical criteria, logical criteria, rational, money-based, review-based, whatever that is, that's different. But we are constantly expanding, exploring choices, making decisions, narrowing choices. This is going on in loops. You can take example of if any of you have bought running shoes recently, if any of you have bought a coffee maker recently, if you bought a washing machine recently. I mean, if you're used to a brand, and that's where again brand experience and investment may help. If you're going through a purchase journey for the first time, I don't think you went from awareness consideration to purchase, right? You go back and forth till finally you exit the loop with either a decision to purchase or a decision that I don't want to purchase anything now, I'm postponing it. So one or the other. So because customers loop through these states repeatedly, what happens sometimes is this. I'll come back to this later. This quiz question is what happens. A potential customer sees your brand 7 times across different platforms over 3 months and then clicks your retargeting ad and converts. Which type of marketing gets the credit? Can you all just put it in the chat for me? A, B, C, or D? Is it performance, the ad that caused the click? Is it the brand, which is the 7 touch points that built the trust? C, both. It's impossible to separate. Or D, whichever my analytics, my GA4 dashboard or whatever AI analytics platform I'm using, whatever that shows this was entry through this last entry waypoint URL, this entry URL, that is the thing. Am I seeing any answers here? I'm not sure. C, both. So you mean C, Lokesh? Yeah, I think I've got a. So good. You all don't need this webinar. You already got the right answer. Because indeed, the real answer, the truthful answer is C. That is, both. It's impossible to separate. But the problem is most dashboards will show you A, because that is where the attribution entirely collapses. We attribute everything to the last click, and we starve the brand investments that made the click possible. They don't get credit. This is the classic problem that I call, contribution versus credit. This is the issue we are trying to break. I'm trying to go up here. So what shapes decisions in the loop? I'm not going to get time to spend on this. We don't have time, but I can, this is there in the article. What pushes people towards that trigger purchase, from trigger to purchase, are all these things, and they vary in how they play out in different categories. So this is more about the messy middle itself. So I'm also going to introduce another concept called the doom loop. Now, the doom loop is a concept that extends from economics finance, from market crashes to economics macros and many other things. It also exists in the world of marketing. What it means is when you optimize for the wrong thing long enough, everything collapses. So the performance doom loop is over-reliance on performance creates like a self-reinforcing trap. And this is again from WARC. I recommend WARC as a great source for this kind of research material. In the end, I'll leave all the URLs of the research reports that I go to for these concepts. But coming back to the performance doom loop, when you over-rely on this data, right, that Maya of metrics that I talked about earlier, you tend to get into this doom loop. You cut brand budgets because performance works. How many times you've seen this? New CFO comes, looks at marketing spends, budgets, calls in sales team, marketing, okay, so much spend is there. What is the thing that is contributing most to sales? This channel, great. This channel's budget is approved. Can you please give me a revised plan, bringing down the marketing budget by 25%? What gets the axe? We all know the answer. What happens then is the return on ad spends will start decline. Refer to the Horlicks example. You will have to force to increase the spend. And what will the logic be? Let's increase the performance spend. We want more performance, so we have to increase the performance spend. And your short-term ROAS may initially look good because you are still running on that extended base of your brand investments of the past. But at some point, your cost per acquisition starts rising. Your audience pool shrinks over time because the brand work is not happening. There is no investment in brand. And And then you will actually see up to, and this is documented based on 150 case studies in Asia, you can see up to a 40% drop in ROI. This is the performance penalty that is happening because of this doom loop. So this is something to factor. Now, all the bad news is out of the way. I'm going to now present to you the core concept or my point of view for this evening, heavily backed by Vox report on this from a year or two ago, as well as their PACE principle, the multiplier effect. Basically, this is the case for brand equity. I think something many of us in this room would love to see our clients and brands invest in, brand investments, as a commercial accelerant rather than some vague, intangible support mechanism. So here's the science behind it. What happens when you integrate the data for this, the numbers for this? Brands are experienced 25 to 100% lift in ROI when they, continue to make a balance between brand spends and performance spends. They see the performance penalty of 40% when they fail to do so. Now, the problem is in the C-suite, CXO, CFO, COO, CBO, CEO, their C-suite marketers are telling that they do see brand equity as a driver of business income. 67% say they believe they care about the brand. But when it comes to putting numbers on the budget, just about 20% are willing to put money where they're saying brand matters, putting money there. But when budget freeze comes, the short-term bias kicks in, and that 62% say that the first thing we will cut is budget freeze, means brand will be cut. Some hygiene performance spend will continue. This is the data case on why we have to avoid these traps and present the multiplier effect as the data-backed reason why we need to continue investing in both brand equity and performance advertising. And here is the formula for you. It's brand equity into performance advertising. So brand equity investments can take many forms. It could be PR, it could be advertising, it could be
Hello.
storytelling, it could be community building. It takes many, many forms, right? Today you have influencers as an added category of people to engage with, to take the brand story forward. All forms of brand storytelling, presence, even for B2B brands, brand equity exists. Through thought leadership of your founders, how your founders show up, your presence in industry participation, community building, all these matter. Then you have performance advertising, right? From, cost per click to all those metrics, social media, paid social media, advertising on third-party platforms that drive sales, e-commerce related advertising, Google spends, paid advertising. Now you add AI-powered paid advertising, all of that comes under performance advertising, including retail channel sales promotions. Certain things that directly contribute to sales come under performance advertising. Now, when you do this into that is when you get the maximum ROI. So equity-led advertising can still drive sales for today and future. It's not an either or. I think the number one thing that I want to break, earlier we talked about short-termism. A lot of people diss brand advertising saying, look, it can't give me results in the short term. It is a long-term game. So, right now we have to survive short term to, be available in long term. So we look at it then. No, it is proven that even in the short term, brand investments will give you better results from your performance spends. And performance advertising reinforces the brand. It still does that job while operating as efficiently as possible. Its job is to capture demand. Now, brand creates demand, performance captures demand. You need both. You can't just keep endlessly creating a demand without having the efficient mechanism of performance that, compared to your competitors, pulls in the demand for your brand, for your business. So you need both. That is really the sermon that I'm preaching today. So here is another poll for you guys. I know some of you are enthusiastically participating, so I'd love to see some responses in the chat box. Rupa, I'm going to circle back to your question a bit later and try and understand it a bit better. But right now, can you all put your answer for this question on the chat? Your client cuts their brand budget by 30% to fund more retargeting, which is a form of performance advertising, right? We all know it. You go check out one product and then that ad chases you from now till kingdom come. What do you predict in 6 to 9 months? What do you think is going to happen if they cut their brand budget by 30%? Take a guess. Okay, I'm getting a few answers. I'll give it 5 more seconds. So as per the data that WARC saw, fair enough, Harikaran, I understand it's hard to say, I understand. But the data-backed answer, as per WARC data, like I said, they surveyed across 150 brands using their actual data. C is the right answer, where performance ads actually require a warm brand familiar audience to convert efficiently. If you shrink the brand pipeline, what they found is your retargeting pool also shrinks. So the cost per acquisition rises. Anyone who's run ads on Meta can verify this, that if you keep shrinking your retargeting audience, if you're not constantly, doing that brand catch, the brand net, your cost per acquisition will go up. Watch out for this with your clients. Moving forward. Another important principle that I think you will see, and this is a very new study that again WARC launched with, I think, Accenture or one of the others, where they studied effectiveness of what we call the two-pace principle. Imagine if you're driving a fast-paced car or an airplane, and you have the advantage of twin engines. So you have a turbo engine and you have a longer term engine, one that you can use for sprints and race finish, and one that you can use for longer term. The pace principle is exactly that. It's built on a twin pace framework, very much tested and proven in the Asian markets. So for short-term performance, sprint, and this is important, right? There is investor reporting that needs to happen, shareholders who need to be managed, cash flows that need to happen. Sprint or short-term performance is important. It gives you immediate return on ad spend. Then you have your long distance or long-term brand building, consistent brand storytelling, thought leadership content, cultural context investment. All of this makes compounding effect for your branding. So what they found is very simple, no-brainer 50-50 investment split is apparently delivering the strongest impact, both short-term and long-term business metrics. So this is beating many of the fallacies that we talked about earlier. Short-term is a maya of metrics, the funnel fallacy. Everything is being addressed here because the data shows that a 50-50 investment split, a no-brainer, no major science made, even a simple 50-50 will give you the best, strongest impact on both short-term and long-term business metrics. So, for example, based on the Asian brands, this is APAC, Singapore, Hong Kong, India, Bangladesh, the whole APAC region. Campaigns of even 1 to 4 weeks had 4x stronger effects when we see the brand investment is there. Multi-channel has become non-negotiable. Why? We talked about messy middle, right? Buyers are not going just by one single, oh, I read this, I downloaded this, I make a purchase. No, they are going to multiple channels, word of mouth, online reviews, asking the neighbor, then seeing some print ad, reading some article, reading some blog, and then seeing some offer in their mailbox. So many things are playing on their mind. So you have to be multi-channel, it's non-negotiable. And cultural resonance. So when you create the local context and the shared values, even for MNC brands, if they're able to establish the brand's local flavor and then invest in performance, they get 2x the results. So this is what the data shows. I now going to spend, if I may, for the next couple of minutes, 2 quick case studies. Both are from the same client brand of ours, grocery ingredient brand, wanted to sell on Blinkit. Okay. So the problem was we started directly conversion ads. They just listed on QuickCom. Many, brands are there like that where they've been selling through supermarkets and all for a long time. Now they realize that customers are buying on quick commerce and they've jumped there. So, but in the initial period, it was not giving results. The ads were fine. Audience was the gap because the people who are buying on quick commerce, this is a 180-year legacy brand. Not necessarily that brand equity is there with that digital audience for them. So then what changed? We added a brand layer, and for the same audience that we are sending to this quick commerce, we ran brand reach campaign, showed them TVC, and then we built a funnel kind of thing within that audience where they are shown brand content and then pushed towards Blinkit. And despite, the numbers of spend is same, but the split between this brand kind of content and the performance where we are pushing them directly to Blinkit. Basically, Meta has a retail collaboration center, so brands can directly send traffic into these third-party apps like quick commerce apps like Blinkit. And within 4 months, please see the chart. From 1.2 kind of a return on ad spends, it jumped to 7 within 4 months. So we talked about short term, long term. In my book, 4 months is pretty short term, and we started seeing results right from month 2, 3. So this is a real life example. Another example, same brand, different context. You all know Onam is a huge festive season to capitalize in for brands in Kerala. And again, in the past, it's a market that's not always easy to win if you're not constantly present there. You have to be owned and accepted in the cultural context of Kerala. And the brand decided to invest in a digital, both a TV kind of a presence in a show. And then we backed it with influencers and we didn't spend lakhs and lakhs, okay? The entire spend on the digital side, I can't share what they spent on the TV program. Again, not too crazy. But for 4 influencers and promoting it on social media, hardly 2 lakhs. And the kind of results they saw a 5x sales jump in the stores. This is in the actual physical stores. So this is again busting the myth between offline and digital, right? 5x uplift in sales, offline sales during that festive period. And of course, the digital reach, you can see the numbers. So there was this beautiful blend of branded positioning, the branded distribution of the brand name, aided by the smart digital conversions for recall in and around the pin codes of the stores, a lot of, performance marketing within the store. And we saw these massive results. So why it worked? This is literally the multiplier in real life. TV sponsorship, OTT reach, cultural immersion, audience warmed up through influencer storytelling, hypermarket activations, and performance activation, just a simple paid promotion, link click campaign, and an in-store conversion campaign. And I missed adding the period. This was in Onam last year. The numbers are here. So the TV and the in-store activations built the brand familiarity, and the influencer performance ads then converted it efficiently. Neither layer, I can assure you, we've worked for brands like this. Neither layer alone could have produced this kind of 5x jump in results. So this is a classic proof of brand into performance spends instead of looking at it as brand versus performance spends. So quiz time. And I'd like to see the answers. Can you see my screen? You can put your answers in the chat window. So I think this is like a leaked question paper. I have cleverly put all the answers as C. So either some of you are getting it right or you've cracked my code. The answer is C. The ROAS improves with warmer audience, better conversion. So when you improve the brand investment while holding your performance flat, you are getting that multiplier effect clearly. So that is definitely the same thing. So I'd like to wrap up with giving you a takeaway framework, something useful, whether you're making the budget or whether you're pitching the budget or you're approving a budget. Here is some takeaway framework for you to use, because what's happened is, I don't think as marketers or as brand owners, none of us are stupid. Many of these things foundationally, we all know brand is important, performance is important. Yes, we know, but we have lacked this data backed, complete proof that gives us the confidence and conviction to say, no, this is the way to go. And that is what I'm trying to leave with you today. The 4-question brand into performance audit that you can run. Ask this about any brand you work with, whether you're on the brand side or on an agency side. Is the audience getting replenished? Are enough new people encountering the brand? That's really the job of brand investments, right? And that has to feed the performance funnel. Or are you just retargeting the same shrinking pool? Now, in my grocery ingredients brand, this was a genuine worry 3-4 years ago, that how we are shopping for groceries changing. So we can't rest on the laurels of a 180-year-old legacy. The brand team has been working very hard to bring the sales distribution members and the brand together to invest. Secondly, are we visible during the messy middle? Understand how your customers or your clients' customers buy. How do they explore? How do they evaluate? How do they make a purchase decision? Whether it's for a consumer durable or for a grocery ingredient or a whey protein or for a AI tool or a B2B solution for their business. How do people make evaluation? How do they explore? Who do they go to for advice? And don't just look at the conversion time, look at the whole journey. Thirdly, is brand equity improving performance efficiency? You can try 1 or 2 tests to convince that when we add brand investment, how does the performance ROAS improve? I gave you 2 of our examples. Those happened within a 4-month window, within one festive season, which is a 6-week, 8-week. Of course, the planning and all that happened maybe a month or so ahead. But within that 6 weeks, we could test out this hypothesis. Finally, are we measuring the full journey? I'm a big fan of data and dashboards. I pride myself in being a data-driven marketer. But sometimes you have to take a step back and say, is the data not showing me the full story or the full picture? Is the attribution model capturing the brand's contribution? I spoke a while ago, right, that there is contribution and there is credit. Very often, brand is contributing, not getting credit. Very often, performance is getting all the credit, but not sharing the contribution with the other parts of the marketing budget. So is that last click getting all the credit and starving the layer that actually makes the whole thing work? That is something you need to take. So this is you can screenshot this slide if you want. This is your takeaway framework. Ask these 4 questions to see if you need to fight this brand versus performance and make it brand into performance in your budget. And just a simple reframe if it helps. How do we build a brand layer that multiplies performance ROI? So never ask for, I also want brand. Give me, at least 10%. No, this is not, you don't need to beg. Present it as a new reframe. Instead of saying we need to choose between this or that, even if this is a given budget, how can we ensure we retain a brand layer? And I will show you how that will multiply the performance ROI. This is the language we need to use when we go into these budgeting conversations, because brand is a multiplier of performance. You know that even 50-50 delivers highest impact, even in the short term. And you need to, empower your whole system to talk not just about contribution and last click, but share the credit across the entire spectrum and build audiences. Don't just fish out of an audience that you've inherited or you've created over a period of time. Understand how that audience gets built and keep filling it up and replenishing it, rather than getting into the doom loop or getting into the maya of metrics. Final question for you all. So now that you've heard me out, and let's say you're advising or part of a direct to customer brand with a 25 lakh annual marketing budget, what do you recommend? Look at these options. Put your answer in the window for me. Okay. Yes, Mrs. Ranganayaki, B is safe enough. I still have a Ratul is not convinced. We are still going with A. Okay. Lot of B's. Lot of B. Okay, I did say 50-50, but the very honest answer is D. It depends entirely on, I will take B as an answer, but it does depend entirely on the category and stage. That is my honest answer. But the next best answer and very accurate as per today's presentation would be B, which is a 50-50. But yes, you do you. Someone wants proof. Okay, give 3 lakhs as the brand layer and, isolate what you can show and then go. That's also fine. But at least don't leave brand dying on the table. Make sure that you give it a budget. So finally, 5 things to take home tonight. The question is wrong. So next time someone talks to you about brand versus performance, kill that debate. It is brand into performance, multiplier effect. One multiplies the other. And if one is 0, 0 into anything is 0. Max class still applies. So if one is 0 and the other is 5, you can't expect some fancy ROI. Over a period, you'll get only 0. The doom loop, why? Because the doom loop is real. Performance only thinking, short-termism shrinks your audience, and at some point, you're going to get into that death spiral of inflating, rising CPAs. Not pretty on any digital dashboard. 50-50 is the proven split, like the last answer. There's data. I'll give you links to this research. You can verify it yourself. And please remember, your buyers are looping. They are not funneling. They are not going through tunnel. They are going through loops. And the messy middle is real. So your budget should account for that. Your attribution models should account for that, so that you're measuring contribution and not just credit. Stop crediting the last click. Start measuring from where it started. Okay, so that is the best way to performance efficiency. And these are the links as I promised. I'll maybe put them in the chat window for all of you. I have all the links, including the case studies are on Inception's page and my LinkedIn page. But I'm happy to take questions. I think Ramkumar sir had said in that note that some e-certificate will be sent to all of you. Stay till the end. But please stay on, and I'm now open for Q&A. I'm going to, this is my, Marketasana is a small handle. I just started a month ago, but I've been writing under hashtag Marketasana on LinkedIn for a couple of years now. And now I have set up an Instagram profile as well. That's in case you want to follow for more this kind of hard-nosed practical things about marketing. That's where you can find me. And that brings me to the end. I hope I'm doing okay on time, 7:30. But if we can spend a few more minutes and take in questions, or I think there were a couple of questions, Rupa, or a couple of, sorry, I'm calling out names that I kind of saw scrolling past. But you're all in a very, very cooperative audience. I've only been talking, hearing only my own voice. So I've opened the floor for questions.
Dear participants, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Dear participants, or you can type the question in the chat box. Dear participants, we have guest with us. You can unmute yourself and you can raise your question, or you can
Hello, sir.
type in
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, this is Mohammad Tahir Khan from the new college, Assistant Professor of Commerce. I have a question for the resource person. First of all, it was a wonderful session. The question is pretty simple. When we're talking about brand marketing and performance marketing, does it negate the fact that content marketing is something which is far more influential, or in a way it balances between these two types of marketing? So should we be bringing in the broader picture of content marketing in today's technological age?
Thank you for the question, Professor. Excellent point. Content marketing is, however, in my view, a tool. It fits in very well. You can use it as a tool within brand marketing. For instance, great PR content. If you have a content strategy that's going to seed, expert articles as PR, and we have a lot of PR professionals with us today, it is a great way to seed brand content. We have done work for top industrial brands, industrial manufacturing brands, where we've seeded 40 expert articles as content into the PR system, right? And that builds their expertise in the market. Content is also used in performance marketing. If you go into B2B SaaS, the number of times we produced ebook, built a landing page around it, and put advertising budget driving people there. But you have to factor in if that business has done 100 product demos and is able to distribute this to those 100 people, their receptivity of this blog content will be superior, conversions will be higher, right? So content is very much important. It's integral today, whether you talk about AI search, SEO, performance clicks, brand assets, right from brand storytelling. Today, there is, for example, Titan has done I don't think Titan has, but there is a brand storytelling around the whole Titan story on OTT, Prime Video. I felt like going and buying a Titan watch, saying, let me go get one for nostalgia. Complete brand, right? No, nothing in that serial is telling me to go buy. But that is also content. It's visual content. It's storytelling content. So you're right about the fact that content is, but nowhere in today's thing is it. There are many tools that contribute to brand marketing and performance marketing. And yes, content strategy, content creation is a very large part of both. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I was watching that series today. It's Made in India.
Yes,
The
made
Titan
in
story.
India. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the answer.
Dear participants, any other questions? You can unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Mr. Lokesh, I'm reading your questions. Since we're not getting any on the verbal side, I'm taking question 2 first. A startup has a limited budget of 10 lakh. How should it divide the budget between brand and performance? Excellent question. Because usually by the time the startup comes, they're so starved of cash flow and that they want everything in performance. But if you're new, how do you earn trust? What signals trust in that category? Brand investment is needed. In fact, I would say first start with brand, and only when you start seeing that taking shape, add the performance layer, or simple, start with 50-50. I've seen this. I'm a fractional CMO for a B2B business side, and we could see that they went for a trade booth, which is a brand investment. They also see conversion. So sometimes some of these things are both brand as well as give you some sales conversions, but it is a brand investment, right? Spending on an event and going. I'm just giving you one example. Question 1, suppose two companies spend the same amount on advertising. One focuses on emotional storytelling, while the other focuses on conversion-driven ads. I would say both of them are likely to get stalled. The one that has done a great job on the emotional storytelling must test that multiplier effect with performance ads that drive, that measure, if it's also contributing to sales, that if they were to try and capture the demand, is it doing it well? Otherwise, they're losing it. They're investing in something and they're not reeling in the returns. And the conversion-driven ads may do well, but they would do better if, over a period of time, they would do better if they also added the brand part to it. So I think both those brands should be doing both in some proportion. Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you very much, madam, for a wonderful session. So it's already 7:35. So thank you very much for a very nice session, very informative. Even I didn't expect so beautiful content, very good content. You started with a wonderful story of Horlicks. and ended with a lot of live case studies. Normally, people don't share their business secrets here. And with due respect to your experience, it's really wonderful. Nice to have you here. Thank you, madam. Dr. Raja, you can propose a vote of thanks.
Yes, sir. First of all, I want to thank our Chennai chapter chairman, Mr. Ramkumar Singh, sir, for this wonderful webinar approval. Ma'am, Miss Pavitra ma'am, today we had a wonderful session, brand marketing versus performance marketing. We saw many case studies from you. Not but not least the wonderful audience, very interactive, and many typed the questions in the chat box. Thank you all, dear participants. Thank you for this attending webinar. Thank you all. Thank you, madam, for this wonderful session. Dear participants, we will meet you in another wonderful session. I will post you feedback form in the chat box. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you again to the PRSI team for this opportunity. Thank you, Ramkumar sir, for the opportunity and the invitation. And thank you for being a great audience, all of you. I've dropped my LinkedIn profile, my email ID, as well as the Marketasana handle, whichever is your preferred method of communication. I look forward. There's nothing that gives me more joy than discussing marketing. I can go on endlessly with some coffee on the side.
Around 80 people have participated. So thank you very much, madam. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks. You can leave the session, madam.
Thank
you. Yeah, thank you.
Dear participants, I have put feedback form in the chat box. Kindly fill up the feedback form to receive a e-certificate through your mail ID. Thank you all.
Thank you for organizing very good session, sir.
Welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Sir, for enlighten us always.
Thank you, ma'am. Ebenezer sir, you can end the meeting, sir. Ebenezer sir, you can end the meeting. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Is there anyone to whom I can speak for a minute from the faculty?